Hello and welcome to the yet another episode of Fortune Business Insights podcast. Today, we are planning to dive deep into the cutting edge technologies of aerospace and defense. So, first and foremost, let's welcome our guest, Sharvarish, who has been associated with aerospace and defense domain for quite a long time. Hello, Sharvarish,
Hi.
and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Sharvarish Nandanwar, working as a senior research analyst in aerospace and defense domain over 5 years. Also, I have a great passion for military aviation and defense specifically. And we would be discussing more about sixth generation aircraft and let's deep dive into it, how insightful it can be.
Okay. So, Sharvarish, recently I witnessed an air show in Bangalore and I saw F-35 and Su-57 and many other aircrafts. But as a layman to these terms, I am a little confused about different generations of aircraft. So, to begin with, I have made a list of questions that I have.
Okay.
And so we'll start with what defines a sixth generation fighter and how do they surpass fifth generation jets?
To place it plain on the paper, I would like to define it in a simpler manner, and later I'll break the definition into two parts.
Okay.
So this is how it goes. To understand any generation of aircraft, there is no single doctrine to define that this is the fourth generation, fifth generation, or sixth generation aircraft. But sixth generation aircraft is a multi-domain dominance platform which will be operating in a highly contested environment. So to make it more understandable, I would like to break it into multi-domain dominance platform, and I will also discuss about highly contested environment where it will be operating into. So talking about multi-domain dominance platform, it will be dominant on air, sea, ground, cyber, and electromagnetic spectrum as well, because it will be deriving all the data from these domains so that it can counter any threat possible coming its way while operating in a harsh and hard contested areas which I am talking about. So any previous generation aircraft, fifth generation or fourth generation aircraft were more towards air to ground kind of things, or some of the aircrafts with their another role, such as for maritime security, patrolling, or say maritime dominance. So, but the sixth generation will be dominating all the domains for which I would like to also state that the highly contested areas like anti-access or anti-area denial areas. Other than that is electromagnetic or electronic warfare dense zones, or say space denied areas, or say cyber attack or cyber infested areas, or say littoral or urban areas. So these are the 5-6 areas, highly contested areas where it will be operating into. Reason behind that, for that, these aircrafts are highly costly to operate, and they are designed to operate in specific areas where the access of human fighter pilots of other generation, fifth generation or fourth generation is really difficult. And to talk about more dwell into the highly contested area in real time examples would be for anti-access and area denial is East China Sea and South China Sea, where you will see that China has defined the 9-dash line, where it has placed a dense network of anti-aircraft missiles, or say air defense systems, or say hypersonic missile systems such as the F-17 or next generation PLXX hypersonic missiles would be placed there. or say, for example, S-400, which they have acquired from Russia. So to counter that, counter that, sixth generation aircraft would be given age with its stealth. Stealth will be given by quantum metamaterials, or say stealth coating. This is one of
stealth was a defining feature of fifth generation aircraft. So what's the game-changing technology of sixth generation?
It's not just stealth which defines the fifth generation aircraft. It is always about super maneuverability, stealth, along with super cruise and sensor fusion. These are what I would derive it in a 3S pattern, which is what we say survivability, sensor fusion, and super maneuverability. Reason behind these S, it makes us understand the generations of aircraft easily, with not clearly defined definitions for each of the aircraft. If you talk about any of the technical person, they will clearly outright never explain it in a better term that this would be the scenario. But why stealth requires doesn't always require high speed. It can be delivered through subsonic propulsion, such as J-36. And also you can look at F-35 Lightning II, which has 1.6 Mach of speed, which is lesser than F-22. And the sixth generation aircraft will be completely AI driven.
Okay.
Because it will pull out data from ground assets such as ships and ground based data infusion systems, along with from satellites, from drones. They will understand the scenario from where the incoming attacks will be. Is it a cyber attack? Cyber attack will be on the softwares of the aircraft. Then electronic warfare system implementing spoofing, jamming, GPS jamming, or we say misleading information sending, such as spoofing. Apart from that, these are the particular examples which I was saying about. In sixth generation aircrafts, what the work of human or manned fighter pilot would be just to implement and strategize, because AI will be taking out all the data and laying it on the single screen, whereby they will have to decide what should be done, because the veto will be veto will only be with the human pilots. And
so all the information has been driven from AI, and then humans will be there to just select the most appropriate task that has to be done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So here they will be giving what we say AI enabled decision making. Then what do you say? They will be integrating the hypersonic missiles, and also countering the hypersonic missiles with directed energy weapons. Also, along with it, adaptive cycle engines, or we can say variable cycle engines, for better stealth and efficiency. Also, along with it, hybrid or electric propulsion system in more or other level of integration, depending upon the operational requirement of the aircrafts, because aircrafts are designed depending upon, or setting a requirement depending upon the operational requirement of certain air force or the partner country who will be working.
Okay, so electrification and hybrid engines are becoming a priority in commercial and UAM sectors. So are they viable for military jets?
Hybrid and electric propulsion would be viable enough, but would be as an auxiliary power. It will be powering avionics. It will be powering the weapon system. It will be helping the AI, entire AI-driven quantum sensing and quantum computing systems we are integrated within the aircraft, but it won't be entirely giving power to the aircraft. Reason behind that, because 30 times more power is generated by the turbofan afterburner engines, which will be installed or integrated with airframes. So, and along with it, in longer term vision, they will have to really advance and up the game for solid state batteries and other things. But more or less, the adaptation of electric propulsion would be seen in a civil or UAM sector, as such as you mentioned, and more or assistive or auxiliary power for this. It can also, if the advanced electric propulsion is there, it can assist in a fuel efficiency manner in a longer term. But it won't be replacing
completely.
It will be a parallel propulsion system along with the fuel-based jet engines. That would be the...
So hybrid is the future.
More or less hybrid one.
Would electric or hybrid fighter jets comprise speed, range, or combat effectiveness?
It definitely does impact, but it also helps it. Such as I mentioned that it may help in fuel efficiency manner. Recently added more advanced engines such as Ultrafan of Rolls-Royce, or we can think of eco demonstrator of NASA and Boeing. They are developing next generation engines, or we can take an example of Pratt and Whitney's XA103, or what is said, and General Electric's XA102. These are engines which are being in development, and these engines would acquire some of the power from for fuel efficiency purposes, as stealth can be advanced when the speed of the aircraft is a bit lesser, which is the reason why you will see fuel inlet, air inlet above B2 bomber, then B-21 Raider, and the White Emperor J36. You will see inlet above its body for subsonic stealth flight, so that to avoid radar detection and decrease its radar cross section. So it will look like a smaller than its size. Particularly, you can say a golf ball size.
So it will not be detected in the radar because of that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Also, I would like to mention that with current battery technologies, it will be difficult for airframe to carry the battery systems on board, because it will be heavier, as the aircraft developers currently are thinking of keeping less weapons on main aircraft and using loyal wingmen or man-unmanned teaming system. Means the manned aircraft will be the node or a manager who would be operating the unmanned systems as its subordinates to work as a work for reconnaissance, or say identify where the targets are and where to strike. Is it possible enough to target or penetrate, or if they will have to reassess the developing and dynamic environment of battlefield.
Okay. So could sixth generation fighter counter hypersonic threats?
Yes, because as a sixth generation, it would definitely have directed energy weapons. Also, it may be integrated with hypersonic missiles as well. So directed energy weapon and hypersonic missiles are like a clock and dagger. So the hypersonic missiles will be targeting the ground or aerial targets, but the directed energy weapons, such as high energy laser weapons, which will be using laser to fry the electronics or navigation systems of hypersonic missiles, and what we say, they can completely destroy it. Along with it, it will help them defend the air system and other aircraft as well.
Okay. How close are we to having fully autonomous fighter jets?
It would be completely around 2/3 of Air Force personnel across the world, according to Rand Corporation's assessments, that they don't trust AI or any autonomous systems for lethal weapon usage.
Yes.
And it will be quite difficult because in contextual manner or in assessing the scenario, AI or autonomous systems can be a bit tricky, and it would be difficult for them to distinguish between civilian aircraft or stealth fighter or military aircraft, or what we say a civilian person or a military person. So ultimately, the decisions related to using lethal force would be with manned fighter pilots and assisting in decision making and what should be done at the end of scenario, because AI or autonomous systems will help fighter pilots to assess the trajectory of hypersonic missiles. Reason behind that, hypersonic missiles give a lesser time window for decision making because they have unmatched speed.
Okay.
So to counteract, they will have to have directed energy weapon, which is a magazine-less. It completely depends upon optical systems and other laser scenarios. Also, they have microwave weapons as well, which disintegrates or decapitate the drones or unmanned systems, or what we say, they can actually disable the systems for better end.
So we cannot completely rely on autonomous.
We can never be, because we cannot see foreseeable future. Reason behind that, there is a pilot's dilemma that we won't be even able to cover. That's the only thing we can.
Makes sense. Yeah. With programs like the US NGAD and the UK's Tempest integrate AI co-pilots and drone wingmen, will humans still be in the cockpit?
Yes, they will. They will be. Instead, AI will be augmenting and integrating with, interacting with human pilots, and what we feel that it will be more or less assistive role, where they will be assisting in decision making per se, or also they will be assessing the system, fuel management. Also, along with it, they will be looking at sensors if they are working fine, and when is the maintenance due for the certain aircraft, or if it can fly another air sortie, or it needs light maintenance or base maintenance. So these all things will be the work of AI or autonomous systems, since they will be infused with quantum sensors, quantum computing, to be resilient enough for spoofing or any cyber attacks or any of the systems.
So my next question is, the US, UK, China and Europe all have 6th generation projects going on, or they already have the jets. Who's ahead in this race?
See, talking about 6th generation aircraft programs, I would like to say that US has been ahead because they have been working on 6th-generation aircraft since 2010s or ahead. Reason behind that, they have more mature system and they have more mature AI and the weapon systems, DEWs, electronic warfare and everything, because they have been working on F-22, which is a complete 5th-generation fighter. F-35, Su-57, J-20 are not completely 5th-generation fighter because they medium level of technology excellence.
Okay.
Reason behind that is Su-57 is, you would be uh, surprised to know that Su-57 design and other aspects are derived from our India's Su-30 MKI's specifications and designs. So it is just an upgraded version of Su-30 MKI, and we have customized it based on our Indian requirements. But Su-30 doesn't have thrust vectoring on other aircrafts, but in Su-30 MK we do have. Along with it, if we think about NGAD, recently in 2024, Navy and Air Force, US Navy and Air Force, they have paused their programs because of cost overruns, or is it really necessary for their operational requirement now? Because Navy has been thinking about acquiring another Virginia class submarines rather than investing in a highly priced fighter program, which they call FAXX. And but it falls under NGAD umbrella only. But US Air Force mostly follow with the NGAD name tag. And because and also their US Air Force has had issues with Lockheed Martin and their component suppliers with F-35 Lightning II, which is the reason why they are not choosing Lockheed Martin as a aircraft designer. So there will be two aircraft manufacturers, which is Boeing and also Grumman Corporation. But in case of US Navy's FAXX program, it will be more or three, because Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman, who are still competing as an aircraft designer, but it is on pause as of now. And Air Force is assessing, because of current Trump administration's reservations regarding cost effectiveness. Reason behind that is why we have complete 5th-generation aircraft, which is F-22 Raptor, and it is really costly to operate, and it cost 500 million per piece. And which is the reason why they have capped the production. They have stopped it. They are maintaining and upgrading the systems, softwares, hardwares on those aircrafts, but they are seldomly used in real world scenario, because for Air Force to run with what we say best possible ROI, return on investment, so they are using F-18 for Navy and F-16 with unmanned drone teaming with the manned aircrafts. This is how they are operating in the current scenario.
Okay.
So even if we talk about 5th-generation aircraft, even if we talk about 6th-generation aircraft, it is highly unlikely that air forces around the world will be using really in a war scenario, because 4th-generation aircrafts and 4.5 generation aircrafts will still be in use for a longer time, till 2030 at least. And talking about generations again, to clarify, as initially I a bit twisted it. 4th-generation aircraft, if we have such as Mirage 2000, if we upgrade it, it will be fourth generation only, which will have fly-by-wire, which will have external hard points, which will have what we say early smart or precision guided weapon systems. So this will be the feature of fourth generation. But 4.5 generation, which is more advanced with ESA radar and with more infusion of sensors and more upgraded weapon systems and what we say more multi-role capability. So these aircrafts will be called, which will be manufactured from the shop floor, will such as Rafale. It's a 4.5 generation aircraft. If we upgrade it, advance it, will be 4.5 generation. We can also, I can also give another example, Su-30 MKI, India's Su-30 MKIs, along with the Eurofighter Typhoon. So these are 4.5 generation aircrafts. Fifth generation aircrafts is J-20, then F-35 Lightning II, and F-22 Raptor. But comparing fifth generation, F-22 Raptor is the only and complete fifth generation fighter.
So you are saying that if we make modifications or if they come up with some upgradation, then also fourth generation will be fourth generation aircraft only, and it will not be transformed to fifth generation. You're saying that?
No, for fifth generation aircraft, we will have to have major airframe upgrades.
Yes.
The major upgrades, like we will have to reduce its radar cross section by using stealth coating or using composites, or you're removing external hard points where electronic warfare pods, weapons, missiles, or guided munitions will be. If you can imagine the if you have seen the movie such as Top Gun or any US made movies where you will see a hard externally hanged weapon system. These are the clear cut identification of fourth generation aircraft. But if we look at the F-22 or F-35 or J-20 or Su-57, they have internal weapons bay. They have large internal weapons bay. But in sixth generation, a lot of space will be there. They won't be integrating a lot of weapons there, because the unmanned systems which will be teaming with the manned aircraft will carry missiles, will carry munitions, will carry electronic jamming systems. Because if we have to enter into certain electronic warfare dense zones, then we will have to first shut down all the incoming electronic warfare attack on aerial systems, or if they have placed it, such as Russia and such as between NATO and Russia, because Russia has S-400 and dense electronic warfare systems which we have seen in Russia-Ukraine war. And talking about UK, Japan, and what you say, Italy's Tempest or Global Combat Air Program. They're at a little ahead stage. They are thinking of having a prototype or having a initial operational clearance in 2035. And for J-36 and J-50 of Chengdu and Shenyang aircraft corporations, they are thinking related to 2030s, mostly a bit earlier. But considering their engine woes, it will be very difficult, because even if they had WS-10 afterburner turbofan engines, they had a bit less thrust. They have less thrust to power the J-20.
Okay, so could China's J-36 or Europe's FCAS leap ahead of the US?
Let me just complete this.
Okay, sorry.
So the reason behind that is China has been struggling with its aircraft engine a lot. So they are still in development phase, and they have also a movie called, it's a Chinese Top Gun kind of thing.
Okay.
They have Want to Fly a movie where they have discussed in detail regarding this. But what problem is there that if they are shooting a missile, then it's plummets and it's creating issues with afterburners and engines. So they are facing issues with their engines. And to better an example and understanding between why engines are more important, during development of HAL's Marut, we had a great airframe which was way ahead of the time, because the developer of that airframe was ex-Nazi personnel, which who um, started a company with Walchand, which was earlier a private corporation, but such as Indian government nationalized all the banks and like that. So they nationalized HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So they had developed HAL Marut, which had great aircraft, but they had problems with engines. So even if China says they have 6th generation or 5th generation, they are clearly lagging behind. Because if something coming from China, it is clearly a propaganda tool. Because even if they have J-36 flying and showing, there is no clear communication by officials. There is no official communication from um, Chinese authorities. And what Chinese media is narrating is all about Reuters or other international medias are quoting them. So clearly, they wanted to deceive the world. And even if they it is, we can give credit, we can credit them for their aircraft design, which is like earlier J-20. If you look at it, it will be like you can compare it with J-20, F-22 and F-35's designs, because they it is speculations that they have stole F-35's data, design and blueprints and other systems data from US. And talking about GCAP, they have three major players, which is Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, Leonardo, and British Aerospace or BAE Systems. So these three are working to provide a aircraft which will have hypersonic capability and hypersonic missile capability, along with it, directed energy weapons, and an advanced AI system to assist fighter pilots with visor-like helmet, where it will be implementing all the data points for fighters to assess in front of their eyes, like AR technology. And regarding FCAS, they are thinking of operationalizing first prototype or initial operational cleared prototype in 2040s only. So more or less, even if someone is claiming to have certain technologies,
so we can say that they are not ahead of US NGAD program like China and Europe. They are still lagging behind.
Yes, they are still lagging behind. The reason behind that is US has flown their first prototype in 2020. When the whole world was engulfed in COVID, they flown their first aircraft. And they have been, in 2025, they shaved out 2.3 or 2.4 billion of funds for advancements in survivability, efficiency, and other infusions, and getting more stealthier, more competitive, because US has been thinking of operating 6th generation aircraft in Pacifics. Reason behind that, if they fly their aircraft if they would like to fly their aircraft over what we say aircraft carriers, then they don't want to enter into first chain of islands near Guam or near Philippines or near Taiwan. So they would like to a bit away from the range of anti-ship or anti-aircraft missiles network of China, and have a better capability, such as I mentioned that the sixth generation aircraft can operate into anti-access and anti-access and anti-denial, area denial systems environment, also space denied environment where um, the enemy can destroy your satellites. So so they would like to operate into a Pacific, which is the reason why they would like to have more range than F-35. And currently they have F-22, which have a better capability, because they can fly from mainland America, refuel it mid-air, and do the work in mainland China and come back with large success rate. So in these areas and in high stake scenarios only they use F-22. Otherwise, operating in a lesser critical mission wouldn't be viable for any air force. Leave US, which has about 777 plus billion of defense expenditure. Still, it wouldn't be economically viable.
Okay. All right. So, when can we expect sixth generation fighters to enter service? 2030 or maybe later? When?
It would be post 2030, mostly close to 2040.
Oh.
The reason behind that, it will require them to mature, or they may require that much amount of operational depth or economic help to use those aircraft, because they are highly expensive and they have high operational cost. Because if they want to have more engines, or if they want to have high thrust engines, the fuel will be running out faster. And we don't have any electric propulsion or any battery technology which is more advanced and could replace the jet engines. So it will take time.
We will still have to.
It's really, really very, very futuristic technology.
Okay,
People use it for, nations use it for their propaganda, and also to state them as a hegemon. Because after 1991 Taliban collapse and disintegration of USSR, US is the sole and remaining superpower, and they're a hegemon globally. They have been doing a lot of things globally, and China would like to counter that, which is the reason why these visuals of J-36 and J-50 are there. Not once, twice. And also you would also see that recently Donald Trump also unveiled F-47, which is NG. They named F-47. I don't know if it is related to Trump's being 47th president, but it is F-47. They unveiled it, but they just unveiled cockpit canopy and frontal portion of the aircraft, and remaining aircraft is covered in the clouds. So it's still mysterious.
Okay. So, what are the most significant roadblocks? Technology, public perception, or regulation?
More or less technology, because one can develop a number of airframes. But for US to keep it viable, they will have to stick with single design. And if their economic woes, or if they don't want to invest into such costly aircraft design program, then they can certainly look for GCAP or Tempest, and they can repair their relations which are currently deteriorating due to Trump's various decisions. Or it will take time for technologies such as electric propulsion, directed energy weapons, and autonomous systems. It will take time to mature because they are still at early stages. They are not able to integrate those systems in their 4.5 generation or 5th generation aircraft. So it will take time, pretty much time.
So if one thing you could fast track adoption, what would it be?
See, in aviation, not just military, but commercial. Last decade, aviation industry has been investing a lot of it in fuel technology. Or it can be fuel or sustainable fuel or what we say electric propulsion, more or less. Such as I gave an example of eco demonstrator by NASA and Boeing, and Rolls-Royce's UltraFan and Airbus's other systems are there. But some or the other way they will have to develop something more credible engine or propulsion system or fuel system. Along with it, being 5th generation aircraft, Su-57, J-20 or F-35, they had to do certain that they had to lose their stealth because of certain deficiencies.
Okay.
So technological aspect really need to be addressed first because regulations related to AI are in place. And there is also a regulation related to, there are international laws for conventional armed conflicts. So everything is in place, but the technology needs to be in place.
Okay, so if I say you want to conclude the entire conversation in just few lines, what will you say? Where we are going with the 6th generation aircrafts. Is there any scope for commercial use also with the technology?
Yes. We as an inspired person or as a knowledge-seeking person, we certainly look for big pictures, or we certainly think of stealth, which has been publicized since the initial phase of F-22 Raptor. But if we have to get in a real-world scenario, the technology is still yet to mature. It needs to be matured because if we are putting AI and autonomous system on plane, we need to have more capable systems which will be resilient to cyber attacks, electronic warfare, or it should operate seamlessly with different stakeholders like sea, air, cyber, and electronic warfare as well. But whatever the takeaways derived from these development can be implemented into unmanned air mobility or air taxis or commercial aspects. Reason behind that, AI-driven air traffic control or what we say collision avoidance systems, which will be required if we would like to venture into commercial aspects. The reason behind that, because these unmanned systems will be operating in urban area where skyscrapers will be there. So they will need to take this in mind from the development of these aircrafts, but it will certainly be helpful for them. Let's see, if the same company developed the urban air mobility systems, or there are other startups which would like to venture into this area.
Thank you, Sharvarish, for joining us and for enlightening us with such an in-depth information. Okay, guys, so this is Neharika Aya signing off for today. As today we discussed aerospace domain, we can say that aerospace domain is evolving faster than we think. So see you in our next episode. Bye.